This is the story of the shooting of the CEO of the healthcare company, Brian Thompson. And
ooh, this will be an interesting one because I feel like Piers, there's no way he would support that shooting. But every single person on this panel, except for maybe Dave and I never can remember her name, maybe these two would be opposed to it. Well, let's see if we get a split here. Actually, let's find out what happens.
Something that the NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch said yesterday. Take a look at this.
Let me say this plainly. There is no heroism in what Mangione did. This was a senseless act of violence. It was a cold and calculated crime that stole a life and put New Yorkers at risk. We don't celebrate murders and we don't lionize the killing of anyone.
A report came out that said a huge number of young people in America were actually fully on board with this hot assassin and approved of what he'd done. To which I replied on X, effing morons, which is what I believe they are. What does he come to in society? Putting aside legitimate concerns about the healthcare system, and I have more than any of you, by the way, because I live in a country where healthcare is free for everybody, and if you came over here and fell over and broke your leg, you get world-class free healthcare, and no one will be over you.
You want to know what the angle that no one's taking on this? If you were truly consistent motherfuckers, if you guys actually believed in the things you said, this is for DGG now, you motherfuckers, okay? If this guy did the same fucking shooting, and then they found him, and he looked like this, all you motherfuckers would have been supporting the healthcare CEO. All you motherfuckers would have been like, yeah, bro, assassinating CEOs is wrong. But you know what? Because he ended up looking hot, you cucks all got behind him. This is a pretty privileged issue, all right? It has nothing to do with ideology. It has nothing to do with the target. You guys just like him because he's hot. Fuck you. This is the Hassan effect. You're gross, okay? This is why the Republicans are beating us, okay, in the election.
Asking for a payment for the bill. So I have strong views about it. But that's got nothing to do with the cold-blooded execution of an executive. And this hero worship of this guy, Luigi Mangione, he's not a hero, is he?
So, Piers, I abhor violence, and you know that on every topic...
Oh, but. Disney's lawyers in the Trump defamation suit against ABC were worried about SC, South Carolina, the Supreme Court overturning Times v. Sullivan, where the actual malice standard for public figures comes from? Wait, really? Wait, is Disney I'm sorry, does Disney own ABC? Is that why they're... I forgot that Disney owns like half the fucking country. My bad. Wait, hold on. We'll read this after. That looks very interesting. Holy shit. Okay.
Including Israel, Gaza, I always say the same thing, which is violence is both deeply immoral and deeply counterproductive. It's a surrender in the battlefield of ideas. So, but as you see that poll, Piers, you can call them morons, and I disagree with them. So I understand your frustration. But at the same time, if you ignore why they're having this unusual a reaction to a killing, you're making a mistake. And the reason they're having that reaction is because...
It's not an unusual reaction. People have been saying LOL for billionaires dying forever. We saw it with the submarine shit, okay? It was the same fucking thing.
We live under corporate rule, and now both right and left hate that corporate rule. And health insurance is an excellent example of it. According to studies, 76,000 people die every year because they don't have health insurance, because they can't afford privatized health insurance. So the core job of the government is to protect us, military, police, firefighters, and yes, health insurance saves our lives. We're the only nation on earth that doesn't have universal health care. We let our own citizens die for profit. So that is the frustration that is built up, and now being shown in an unproductive way through this killing and the support of the guy who did the killing. But if you don't go address that massive health insurance problem, you're going to get more and more of this, and you can get angrier and angrier, and we can all go into our separate camps. But that's not going to solve it. What's going to solve it is...
Let's assume that what you're saying is true. What's the party that who got us the little bit of ACA shit that we have so far? It was the Democrats. Do you think the Republicans are going to be lining up for a public option for single-payer healthcare? Like...
ending corporate rule. And the number one issue is that the establishment takes money from those corporate donors and serves their corporate donors. All right. Both Trump and Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris took $700,000 from the health insurance industry to make sure that nothing fundamentally changed.
How much money did you take from Polymarket? You guys got a big Polymarket sponsorship recently, right? If you're saying that Kamala's position on healthcare was influenced by big donors or whatever, how do we know that your positions aren't influenced by Polymarket? If you can't show that Kamala like changed the position or had to change or there's some kind of communication or something, right? Then who are we to say that your positions haven't changed because of the Polymarket sponsor, right?
That is a core problem. And if you're a Democrat or you're on the left and you push people out for saying things that are true, all you're going to get is a weaker and weaker party. Let's address the root.
Why can the Republicans lie over and over again and not become weaker, though? What's happening there?
Causes.
All right, Dave Rubin, the poll was by Emerson College. 41% of 18 to 29-year-olds believe Thompson's murder was acceptable. The cold-blooded murder of a man, of a husband, a father of two kids in Midtown Manhattan is acceptable because he happened to be an executive at a healthcare company and they disagree with some of the policies. I mean,
did he say 700K? Yeah, wait, in response.
And if you're a Democrat or you're on the 100,000 establishment, takes money from those corporate
opinions you don't like is that they disagree with some of the policies. I mean, if it comes to that, then If that is taken, extrapolated across the country, that's the future generation now in America. They think that murdering executives from companies whose opinions you don't like is now acceptable. America's in a very dark place.
Yeah, well, I can basically give you Cenk's answer without the but. There's no but there. It doesn't matter what you're aggrieved about. Everyone is aggrieved about something. Everyone has been wronged by somebody, a former employer, a health insurance agent, a doctor, a former boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it might be. You cannot take the law into your own hands, period. If you wonder why so many people think that violence is okay, again, I would only point at the...
Oh, wait. At the progressives, it's either going to be progressives during BLM and the Summer of Love or Biden weaponizing the DOJ. I'm going to guess BLM.
Progressives who for the last decade have been calling everybody racists and bigots and saying this country's run by white supremacists and capitalism's evil and the very founding of America's evil, and then they telling them that climate change is going to cause the world to end
Okay, that was even more retarded than I thought. My bad.
in 6 years, and a litany about, and that their genitals don't match their gender. All of these things have led to a certain psychosis in young people that's also connected to the endless doom scrolling on the phone and social media, which made everyone much more antisocial than social. But if you tell everybody that the boogeyman's coming to get you everywhere at all times and you live in a horrible place with evil people who want to kill you, then you are going to have a mass mental health. Man's coming to get you everywhere at all times, and you live in a horrible, more antisocial than social.
This might be the smartest thing that Dave Rubin has ever said. I agree. I agree exactly with what he just said here. Listen to this. This is a good point.
But if you tell everybody that the boogeyman's coming to get you everywhere at all times, and you live in a horrible place with evil people who want to kill you,
That's what you guys constantly say about the United States. The pharmaceuticals are the boogeymen, and the big donors and the corporate America are the boogeymen, and the FBI and the DOJ are the boogeymen, and Ukrainians are the boogeymen, and Jews and Arabs and everybody, like, and immigrants and the Haitians that are eating the dogs and the Peruvians that are taking over all the apartments and the MS-13. Like, this is literally your messaging.
then you are going
And
to
the
have
DEI and the woke and the trans dicks are coming for the daughters in the bathrooms and your children.
everybody
and,
that the boogeyman's coming to get you everywhere at all times, and you live in a horrible place with evil people who want to kill you, then you are going to have a mass mental health problem, and it's going to lead to people doing horrible things. But the second you do what Cenk just did there, which is but, so okay, we've got all kinds of problems, but, well then congratulations, anyone can go out there and kill anybody because everybody's got a reason to be aggrieved. We are a nation of law and order or not. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Smith, I actually agree with that. I think the moment you equivocate when you talk about something like this, you are opening the floodgates for everyone to equivocate. Whatever their cause is, whatever their gripe is, the moment you start saying, well, that murder
rare correct use of the word equivocate.
was terrible, but, in other words, trying to find an explanation for why it's not as shocking and heinous and disgusting as it obviously was, I think you're on a very slippery slope, whatever it is.
Well, I would certainly agree that, and I've seen a disturbing amount of it.
Yeah.
He's about to butt. Ready? It's coming. But, it's coming. I can feel it. But.
Online and stuff
but-
like that. And so, look, like, obviously it's horrible to
Oh, he used an and there. He's getting there. It's
execution
horrible,
style
yeah.
kill somebody,
But-
and the whole
okay,
premise of
yep,
Western
hedge,
civilization and
hedge
the
is law and
Enlightenment
order.
and everything that
But-
we should consider
yes,
good and
but-
advanced in
yep,
civilization
okay,
is
we got
that
there.
even if that guy was
we're still
guilty of
hedging, we're still
horrendous
hedging.
crimes, well, he gets a judge in a robe and a lawyer in a
Okay,
suit,
yep, he does.
and he gets to present his defense
Oh, it's
before
coming. Oh my
he
God,
is
it's coming.
convicted
Yep,
by a
that's
jury
true.
of
Come on,
his
come on,
peers.
come on,
You know,
come on,
like
come
the
on.
idea that you can just execute. First of all, it's evil, and also, no matter what side of it you're on, the outcome of vigilantism like this is just chaos and
Okay.
an awful place to live.
But,
I do think, though, that
okay, I feel like those counts as but. I do think, though, that's the same thing as a but. I get half credit on that, okay?
for us, for people who feel that way, we should look at a poll like that and have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, like, I don't think Dave is completely off. I think there has certainly been
Oh, look, and it counts because Cenk is nodding his head, okay?
questions.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, like, I don't think Dave is completely off. I think there has certainly been a bunch of toxic garbage that has come to dominate university life that is very bad for young people's minds. I will say, though, that as a society, we have put the young people in this country in an awful position in many ways where they do have legitimate grievances. Now, I'm not saying that justifies, supporting anybody being executed like this. But the truth is that the big banks and the government got in business to prop up this college, which is essentially a government program at this point. The loans are given out by the government after many years of them being guaranteed by the government. We've cattle carded these young people into.
But wait, what? What did he say? Sorry, every time it's just always so much dumb shit.
Awful position in many ways where they do have legitimate grievances. Now, I'm not saying that justifies, supporting anybody being executed like this. But the truth is that the big banks and the government got in business to prop up this college, which is essentially a government program at this point. The loans are given out by the government after many years of them being guaranteed by the government. We've cattle carded these young people into going into six figures in debt while they learn, for the most part, garbage. They come out of this, they're working at Starbucks,
Can I just get an answer to, like, how is it that the people that all get college degrees all end up making more money? What's going on there?
150 grand in.
What is he saying? Oh, it's just the old libertarianism is coming back, and anytime the government backs any loans, he just has to complain. So now we're complaining about student loans, I guess.
Yeah, my grandfather in a much poorer, much less advanced economy could go wait on a line and get a job after high school and support his wife who didn't have to work and raise their kids and have 2 cars and own a home. There is
No, he couldn't. Doing what? That is not true. There was no golden era in American history where a guy could go and get a job and support a family of 4 with 2 cars with no fucking education. What? Unless he was like one of the luckiest steel mill like workers who'd been working there for 2 decades and was like high in the union and promoted to a good job. It was just never the case in American history that like random people could get jobs and have like all this shit. It is like a single family, like single person working. That's a myth. That is a myth of U.S. history.
and get a job after high school and support
Unless they live in like Montana.
His wife who didn't have to work and raise their kids and have 2 cars and own a home. There is simply no path toward that for a huge portion of young people. And if we don't address that and we don't try to fix this situation, I think we're going to be looking at this very disturbing reality where more and more young people kind of celebrate the person who just went out and made what from their perception, somebody who was like in the establishment or in the winning class, made them pay. I'd also add very quickly that in the middle of that, just to add insult to injury, we still have Social Security, which is considered like a third rail that nobody, even the Republicans, will dare mention trimming at all, which is nothing but a wealth transfer program from these young people to a much richer group who have higher net worths and higher incomes and a lifetime of saving.
Yeah, you pay into it so that you get it when you retire. What? I mean, they paid into Social Security as well.
The way young people have been screwed over in this society is very disturbing. And so, again, just to be clear, Pierce, I'm not equivocating and saying like, oh, that's why it's okay.
How? Never mind.
Some of them are celebrating this,
yeah.
but I think we should recognize this.
Yeah, Amala, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah,
Why is he? Bro, why do they hate Dave so much? Look at him. Oh, no. I'm 30, and after listening to enough of you, it sounds like you and I had a very similar upbringing. Hearing you snap back at viewers who don't know what it's like to not have everything is incredibly cathartic. True. I grew up dirt poor. My life was very hard, and the reason why I grew up so conservative is because my dad was tortured by Che Guevara when my family was making it over to the United States on the raft. And the only reason they had that raft, by the way, is because free market investor capitalist snuck into communist Cuba and agreed to pay them fair market wages in order to provide them with the money to buy a raft that was manufactured with American wood and championed by American private investment. And then as they were making their way over to the United States, the only reason why they didn't make it the first time is because the communist produced command economy directed screws broke because the communist leaders who were torturing my family members was stealing all the good steel for themselves. I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry.
But I think we should recognize this.
Yeah, Amala, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree with what Dave Smith just said. We should recognize the problems that are maybe underlying in this guy's motivation.
The problem is our whole country is fucked. Everything is fucked and ruined and destroyed. Right after Dave went on that whole rant about like, guys, you can't tell people are coming to kill you. Like, yes, our country is so fucked and destroyed. Everything is like ruined. Everything is horrible. Everything is destroyed. Please tell us more. All these commentators who are... It's sad because like I can see like how much I hate this country, but like the beauty of this country, like all at the same time, right? Like how American is this? We're on a show that's hosted by a British dude, that's hosted on servers from an American company, that features a gay, I don't even know what ethnic background this guy is, media guy from Turkey who came to the United States, libertarian weirdo, a lady who came from China, from England and then to China, and then somebody who is, I think she's of African-American descent. I don't know if her parents are Americans or not. Look at the wonderful collection of people we have here. And look, and guess where they all come? They all come to the United States media to do their shows, okay? Even this bonger fuck. Look at how beautiful this is, okay? Look at the concept of our country at work here. But now they've all used it to just hate my country. Her surname sounds African? It does. So I'm not sure what her background is. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I agree with what Dave Smith just said. We should recognize the problems that are maybe underlying in this guy's motivation. I obviously don't think that retributive justice is the answer in any way, shape, or form. But to somebody else's point, I think somebody said the response to this has been sort of unusual or dramatic. I kind of want to push back on that. I feel like this is becoming a common response to anybody who, we disagree with losing their life. I think for a lot of us on this panel, maybe one sentence that we've said on this show today will now lead us to our deaths being celebrated. God forbid they happen. And it's a really interesting sort of common response that we're seeing.